folks, man, this is Monk, and we are back with another episode up from the Canopy Film Show, and I'm joined as always with my co-host. We got Cornelius, aka Evil Corny.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on, man? And if you don't know, each episode we get on here and talk about films we've seen lately. This is pretty much a review show. And if there's anything else on the back end to talk about film-wise, and we do that too. But let's get it cracking, man. We got a lot of films on the docket this week. And I'm going to start with this film called The Front Room. It's a suspense thriller directed by Sam and Max Eggers. And in this film, everything goes to hell for newly pregnant Belinda after her mother-in-law moves in. As a diabolical guest tries to get her claws on the child, Belinda must draw the line somewhere. And this film is an interesting cast. We've got Brandy. We've also got Catherine Hunter and Andrew Burnap. And these are our main characters. Pretty much we spend most of the movie with these people, and there's a few other people that come in. And this was an interesting watch for me. I think I really didn't plan on seeing this until I found out that the Eggers brothers were involved. I think we talked about that at the end of the last episode, so that piqued my interest. And I went ahead and saw this, and interestingly enough, I feel like I enjoyed this film despite itself. I feel like this film was a film that could have been great, but it was actually good enough. And I think there were some things that it did that kind of handicapped it a little bit, so to speak, But for the most part, I definitely enjoyed the performances. I think everybody did a good job in that department. Brandy actually surprised me, but I shouldn't have been surprised because she did a whole TV series for years called Moesha. And she put in other stuff. I know what she did last summer. She helped kick that franchise off. And Andrew, he was okay. He was solid as the husband that was too busy to be home with his wife as he's expecting his baby. But I think who stole this show was Catherine Hunter, playing the mother-in-law figure. She kind of reminded me of the mom from the Goonies, man. I forgot that.
The lady name. from
Throw Mama from the Train. Yeah, it just had that vibe to me, man. And she was kind of just, you could tell she was having fun with this, just being a thorn in their sides. And and she's kind of just this older woman. It's coming from older times. There's some stuff. It's interesting because it's implied that she is racist, even though she doesn't get outright with the racism. That there's clues, but the way she's acting in a way, like we see a letter commending her Daughters of the Confederacy membership, that kind of little clue.
One of the things I really like this film, Belinda was like, Brandy's character was like a professor in, I guess, Egyptology or whatever. Mm-hmm. And she wasn't really an outright Christian in this. And that,
she seemed a little bit evangelical, man. Like this, like her brand of is kind of like some backwoodsy kind of just, like really almost touching on that root doctor territory, but like a step just above from that.
Brings,
She was speaking in tongues.
It was. She was going in heavy, and she knew what situation like Belinda was in, so she was just making it worse. And overall, I kind of, it's a lot of parts of this that was just missing out. We really don't learn too much about any of the characters' background or anything, other than the situation they're in, but for just having like a antagonistic relationship, this was kind of cat and mouse type deals. This was interesting. I really liked how they were pretty much at each other, and it's not like Belinda was a total victim on this, because she was fighting back.
Yeah, she was fighting back a bit, and I think that's where it kind of I think it sells itself short. I feel like it should have leaned into the lunacy that this thing gets too off the top, because it's kind of a dark comedy. Like you said, the cat and mouse, it gets kind of comical. And I feel like maybe seeing pieces of this trailer, I don't think I watched the full trailer, but I feel like they were trying to push this as something much darker, sinister, and supernatural, when really it's just an overbearing stepmom. So even as I'm watching, it takes a while before that develops, where I'm like, you know what, I can't laugh at this, and this is what the intention of it. And I really wish they would have leaned into that a little bit more. Like I said, my first thought was this woman is throw mama from the train. Like she's like her and Brandy could have been really like I love the parts where she's kind of winking over her shoulder. Like there's moments that like when she she messes the bed. And which I think they did too much, man. Like that kind of was throwing me off. I was like, all right, we get it. But then the husband comes to pick her up out of the bed. And she's like looking over his shoulder at Brandy's character and just kind of laughing at her, like jeering at her. And I'm like, this evil old lady. But then they kind of killed me when they just kept digging in. There was like a sequence of poop and piss, and I'm like, come on, bro, y'all could have left this out. You could have found more creative ways. We know this is going on. You've already established that. You could have showed Brandy's annoyance without having to actually show this. There's a couple of gross out scenes in this. I don't know why they lean into the gross out because that first scene when she's at the table and she coughs, and I'm just like, ugh, like I'm watching it, and I was like, all right, but that was cool. But then to just keep coming back to the poop and I was like, come on, bro. Like you guys had a lot of time. You could have thrown in some more aggravations that this lady's throwing at Brandy, but that is the fun of it, man. Like I said, like this. When I came out, and then I I go online and I'm looking at the reviews. I'm like, damn, you guys saw a much different film than I did. But I can also see why the people reacted to this up to a certain point the way they did.
Yeah, it's some people that outright just hated it, but I didn't. I was entertained, But I kind of I think they were thinking they were watching a different type of movie than.
But that's what I'm saying. You watch that trailer, it seems like some sinister, some supernatural evil is going on, and I'm like, bro, it's just a nasty old lady, mom. So I think if you would have put this trailer and leaned it more onto that dark comedy aspect and gave it to, I think audiences might have been more prepared to come into your film with that on their mind instead of something totally different. Like I did at first. Like I said, it took a little while for me to figure out what would this happen, and I think that's going to be the case with. There's a couple films that I've seen recently where I feel like what they are advertising is not what they gave us, and I think that you're setting up the expectations of your audience sometimes with the trailer, and I think that's something that's important to nail, because if that's way different than the actual final product, I can understand some misdirection and stuff like that Marvel does, but for the most part, you're watching a superhero action film, if there's Marvel's doing that. But with something like this, you gotta kind of at least give people intention of the tone that you're going for with the movie.
Yeah, because instead of instead of a dark comedy that we got, we pretty much went in thinking that this was going to be a straight up horror film,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I was like, somebody gonna die? Is this like it's just like somebody possessed? It's like it doesn't play out like that, man. Yeah. But yeah. But I don't know. I enjoyed it, man. I don't know if it's still playing. I think it might be on its last legs. If it is, so you might want to get out and see it if if you're remotely interested. But like I said, man, if you go in with the idea that this is just a dark comedy film about an evil mother-in-law, you might enjoy it like me and Courtney did, So the next one we got here is going to be Beetlejuice. It's a comedy horror. We're going back into Tim Burton's crazy mind. In this film, 3 generations of the Dietz family return home to Winter River after an unexpected family tragedy. Still haunted by Beetlejuice, Lydia's life soon gets turned upside down when her rebellious teenage daughter discovers a mysterious portal to the afterlife. When someone says Beetlejuice's name 3 times, the mischievous demon gleefully returns to unleash his very own brand of mayhem. And this cast includes Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder, Monica Bellucci, Jenna Ortega, Willem Dafoe, Arthur Conti, Justin Theroux, and Catherine O'Hara. And what'd you think about this one?
Have you seen it yet?
Nah, I haven't seen it.
Oh, I really enjoyed the film. It's kind of nice to be back in that world. Overall, I love the film, but it's little things that they did, like the reason why she's going, they go back to the town is because of Jeffrey Jones's character, which Jeffrey Jones is in trouble as Lydia's father dies, in an accident. You kind of see, you kind of see that character in, but not played by him. You know, in this film.
I don't think you could bring him back at this point. He's had that guy had a wild past, so to speak.
Yeah,
he has a weird case.
Yeah. But overall, I really liked the film. It was good to see Jenna Ortega in this. She's pretty much looks like she could be Winona Ryder's, real daughter. Michael Keaton's amazing in this. I just had problems with like Monica Bellucci. She plays Beetlejuice's ex-wife, or the reason why he's dead. But she's kind of hunting him, and she is a soul sucker. She pretty much, if she comes in contact with you, even though you're dead, you're dead for dead for good. No coming back if she crosses you. I wish that she was in the film a little bit more and had her character kind of fleshed out a little bit more. I saw this like 2 weeks ago, so I'm trying to think about what's going. Also, I really like Willem Dafoe's character in this. He was in this film. He was a actor that was a TV cop, but in the afterlife, I guess he just assumed a position of like an investigator or whatever. Everything about him was funny. He was doing his own stunts, and like part of his face is like blown off because a live ammo was used during the during the filming of the show. So it's real interesting, and he's kind of telling Beetlejuice what was going on, and kind of investigating and trying to stop Beetlejuice's ex-wife from catching up with him. But overall, I just had a lot of fun with this, and it kind of puts me back in the mind of the old Tim Burton. Tim Burton has had a real good film in quite a while, and I'm glad this one's doing good.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Yeah, it's doing really good at the box office, and it's getting really favorable reviews. Next one is going to be Speak No Evil. This is a horror thriller directed by James Watkins. I think this is a remake of not sure what country the original film was from, but
it's a Dutch film.
And I think that film was only made in like 2022, so this was a really fast remake, I believe, the Dutch film. Yeah. That's crazy, man. But that's what Hollywood is for you. But in this film, a dream holiday turns into a living nightmare when an American couple and their daughter spend the weekend at a British family's idyllic country estate. This film stars James McAvoy, Mackenzie Davis, Aisling Franciosi, Scoop McNairy, Dan Ho, and Alex West Leffler. These are our main characters in this film. For the most part, I enjoyed this. I thought it was okay watch. I mean, it's kind of, predictable, like it's not really, you can't really surprise me with this scenario, but, seeing how it played out was kind of interesting. I thought James McAvoy was solid, as our main, essentially two couples are hanging out, or one couple, they're on vacation, they're taking a break for some reason. They meet this couple on holiday. And they tell them, yeah, if you're ever in the area, or why don't you guys come hang out with us where we're at? Like, even though they're on holiday, come and hang out with us on a holiday or whatever, So they decide to go spend a week with this family, and it takes a sinister twist. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think this is the second movie I've seen in like the past month with the sinister twist when you go and visit somebody. So be careful who you visit.
Yeah, blink twice. And this, I saw both on the same day, by the way.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, but this one, it was okay, man. I think it did a good job for telling the story. Like, I didn't love it, but I had a good time watching this. Especially, I think this one is boosted up by the performances. McAvoy does a great job, and also, man, what's her name? I think it's who was I think her, the wife. Yeah. Yes. The suspicious wife, because she was doing everything you're supposed to do. And the husband's like, oh, come on, man, it's not like that. Maybe we're misunderstanding. And there's a couple moments where you should have got the fuck out of there. but because you didn't, it just gets worse and worse and falls in. And it's wild, man. It's a good enough time, man. I had fun watching, especially toward the end, it does kind of get a little bit goofy. Like me and the crowd, I was watching it, we were laughing at some of the stuff because it was just like, oh man, they're almost out of it, and then something else goes wrong, and you're just like, like but it's almost kind of like a little bit of dark humor, thrown into the mix. But well, it's solid, man. I had a good time. I don't think it justifies me seeing this trailer like 35 times before it came out.
Oh yeah, I was seeing this trailer too much, like the last couple of months. I was totally burned out. I want to say this might have been like when I was seeing this trailer come up. I was going. This would be my go to the bathroom before the movie starts trailer, because it was just getting that old to me.
Yeah, overall, it's funny. Oh, go ahead.
I really enjoyed this film. Like you said, the performances were real good. McAvoy, I don't know. I've kind of slept on him a little bit. My dislike for like the X-Men films, that Fox was making, didn't really let me appreciate like his Professor Xavier and everything. But
he's always been good in them.
I know he's good in them, but overall, those films I really just don't love. Especially like coming off of Patrick Stewart being, in Charles Xavier and everything. And I don't know. I really just have so many problems with those Fox films. But overall, I really just like this film. At some point, I'm gonna try to watch the original, and I think that's on Shudder right now. But also, it's good to kind of see Mackenzie Davis in something. The only other film that I kind of remember seeing her in was that Terminator Dark Fate. And she was like the enhanced human or whatever that was in that film. And that's been several years ago. But she played a good part in this film. But like you were saying, me seeing this and Blink Twice back to back, I wouldn't trust. Right now, I don't trust going anywhere with anybody.
Yeah. So my next one is going to be The Killer's Game, and this is an action dark comedy directed by J.J. Perry. And in this film, a killer is diagnosed with a terminal illness. He decides to take matters into his own hand and take a hit out on himself. However, when the very men he hires also target his ex-girlfriend, he must fend off an army of assassins and win back the love of his life before it's too late. And this film stars Dave Bautista, Sophia Boutella, Palm, Clemente, Scott Adkins, Terry Crews, and Ben Kingsley. And the synopsis ain't doing it justice, because really what happens is he gets a terminal diagnosis and finds out there was a mix-up. So he put a hit out on himself for nothing because he's going to live. And then he can't call it off because they've already got his money, and the agency, they're like, hey, bro, like there's no refunds. So basically he has to fight his way out of it. And for the most part, man, I really enjoyed this film, dude. I thought it was pretty solid. Bautista's my guy. I think he's a good actor, man. It's interesting too because he's smaller in this than he normally is. And I think there was a bit of a controversy. People were asking, is he sick and this and that? And I was like, bro, like the last movie he was in, I think he said he was up to 315 pounds just to do Knock at the Cabin, which for me, that made no sense. But it's crazy the demands that, sometimes this film industry puts on people physically. And I'm like, yo, he's an older man. The amount of work you got to do to maintain that kind of mass, just on a physical effort, and then you have to act on time. It's a lot, man. So he's still fit. Still big Bautista, but he's a little bit leaner and meaner in this. And I didn't notice much difference with that, man. He's still effective. He's still the guy you don't want to mess with in a film like this. But I had a good time with it, man. It's not like a highbrow type of film. This really is a straight up action flick. But I think what's boosts it up is the action in it is pretty good. And you got this wacky world. It's kind of like John Wick in a sense, but also a little bit of what's the old school Assassin's film around the early 2000s. I think they did two of them. Had Common in it. Taraji P was in it, but it was I can't remember.
Oh,
the name
you're talking about like Smoking Aces?
Yeah, Smoking Aces. It's kind of has that kind of world where all of these killers have their own different kind of personalities, and they're just over the top personalities. They got their own little splash screens and intros. and it makes it interesting. So I think that was really fun, man, especially seeing how it's presented that he has history with a lot of these people that are coming after him. So not only is he kicking their ass or killing them, but he's also exchanging banter, and there's war stories and stuff like this going on that just give this world a little bit more oomph. Like this is one that I could see them, doing a franchise off of, man. To be honest, it could probably be a something that's running parallel with the Wick universe a little bit, but just his own thing in a way, just a different take on this stuff,
The guy that's the director, he did stunts for John Wick.
Yeah, he's also directed Day Shift too. The Netflix Jamie Foxx film.
Oh, that's good.
In 2022.
Yeah.
So like it's good, man. Like it has that kind of energy with it, like that we saw from that Day Shift film, man. It's just a fun film that doesn't take itself too seriously, and it's trying to do inventive stuff, with the action, just to keep us entertained. Like the story is simple, man. Pretty much you heard the plot. There's no crazy twist or nothing like that, and you get from point A to point B in a short and efficient time, and you had a good time along the way. I think it's funny because I saw Ian talking about this. Yeah, and he said people gonna be kicking themselves when they finally see this on streaming that they didn't see it, in the theater, and I tend to agree with them on that, Mark. So I had a good time watching this one, man. It's definitely a cool game. There's also one feature in this thing that's kind of funny. There's a point where I guess in this world you get access to this app, so you can dial up your killers, your assassins, and they each have ratings on them, yo. So as he's pulling up different people, they're rated by the amount of guns. Like I guess there's a scale of 1 to 5, and some of them have 2 guns, some got 3, some of them have 5. So it's like I feel like that guy that that was on Trump's golf course the other day, man. He probably had like a 1 gun rating because.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, man, the Killer's game is good, man. I had a good time watching that,
man.
Yeah, man. I feel you. But I think that's it, man. We could probably wrap this up.
On you,
but... no, I'm good. Unless there's anything else you want to mention, do get I think we got a few things opening this week. I got Transformers 1. I'm gonna check that out probably tomorrow. What else is on the list? Oh yeah, this is one called The Substance, man. That's getting a lot of buzz.
Yeah, that was Demi Moore. Yeah. Those
Demi Moore. And Never Let Go also comes out. I'm really looking forward to that, man. I want to see that so bad. That trailer has been catching me, man. And what's wild? It's kind of implying in the trailer a little bit that it looks like they're in this haunted forest. And she's trying to protect these kids, but also I think maybe something's wrong with her. Like it also is showing me glimpses, like, because there's that scene where that kid, it looks like a main road that this kid is touching. So is she little cuckoo trying to keep this place like that? Yeah, but it looks good, man. Like the cinematography on it and the mood that they're showing in that trailer. It looks like it could be one. It might be one.
That trailer gave me thoughts like of what's the movie where Cheryl Ejiofor and Margaret Robbie, and I think it's there's a third person that shows up in that film, and I can't remember Jake Gyllenhaal or what, but remember it was like she was like in the woods, like by herself, and it was like post-apocalyptic, and she finds
I think it was Z like for Zachariah.
Yeah, Z for Zachariah. That's what kind of vibes I'm getting from that the trailers on this.
Mm-hmm.
There might be a little bit more supernatural stuff happening, or we think, but yeah, it looks cool though, man. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. So I think at least I got shit. I don't know if The Substance is going to be near me. It's looking like I got to go to Rockville. I might check it, man. So I definitely got Transformers and Never Let Go. I'm going to see those. Might do the same day. Shit, I ain't got nothing to do tomorrow. Boom. But yeah, I think that's it, folks, man. We get out of here. Make sure you like and subscribe. Turn on your notifications. And we'll be back again, man, soon. Catch
catch me at Monkey Blood on Twitter and Instagram.
I'm Cornelius Burrows. You can find me on Facebook, Cornelius Burrows, on Instagram, Cornelius Burrows, on Twitter, at Cornelius 1976. I do